The basics of sentence. Introduction to the module. In this module, you will learn about different types of sentences and how to identify their various parts. Like anything that you pull apart and look at more closely, you may find it complicates things at first. However, it is your first step to learning English fluently. With practice, speaking and writing these sentences will become second nature. Topics to be covered in this module are: sentence and parts of sentence, kinds of sentence, simple, complex, and compound sentence. Sentence and parts of sentence. A sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. There are, as always, exceptions, but in English, a sentence consists of at least a subject and a verb. Often it has an object as well. For example, in the sentence I love you, I is the subject, love is the verb, and you is the object. We can divide a sentence mainly into two parts, the subject and the predicate. Subject: the subject is the person, animal or thing, the noun or pronoun, performing the verb. Example: Polly has a cat. I like tea more than coffee. Predicate: the predicate is all the words, including the verb and object, that tells us what the subject does. Example: I like to run in the park every morning. Sarah loves to read books. Usually, the subject comes before the predicate. However, in a question or sentences that start with here, there or prepositional phrase, the predicate comes first for emphasis. Example: How are you today? Here is your dad. There is a taxi. With a huff and a puff, Mark climbed the hill. Kinds of sentence. English has four main types of sentences. 1. Declarative sentence. A declarative sentence expresses opinion or feeling or describes things. In other words, it makes a statement or assertion. Example: I have a dog called Spike. I am pleased today. 2. Imperative sentence. An imperative sentence expresses commands or requests. Because it directs the order or entreaty at the subject, there may be no need to mention the subject in the sentence. It usually ends with a period but may have a note of exclamation too. Example: Tell me the truth. Please be quiet. I need you to sit down now. 3. Interrogative sentence. An interrogative sentence asks a question. It must end with a question mark. Example: Where are you going at this time? What is your favorite TV show? 4. Exclamatory sentence. A sentence that expresses an overflow of emotions is called an exclamatory sentence. It may not need a verb and also can be expressed in one word. For emphasis, it usually ends in an exclamation mark. Example: How dare you do that? Happy New Year. Wow. Simple, complex, and compound sentence. Previously we learned about clauses. The use of independent and dependent clauses in a sentence leads to three basic structural differences. 1. Simple sentence. A sentence that has a single clause is called a simple sentence. Example: He is rich. Independent. 2. Complex sentence. A complex sentence has more than one clause, but one of them must be independent while the other or others are dependent. Example: Although he is rich, he is honest. Dependent plus independent. 3. Compound sentence. A compound sentence has more than one independent clause and no dependent clause. Example: He is rich, but he is honest. Independent plus independent. Summary. In this module you have learnt that a unit of words that makes sense to the reader is commonly called a sentence. A sentence has two definitive parts to it, the subject and predicate. A subject will come before a predicate, but as with many English grammar rules there are definite exceptions. There are four specific types of sentences used in the English language: declarative, imperative, interrogative and exclamatory. It is generally accepted that there are three types of sentences used in English: simple, complex and compound.